Over the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you why the US wins AI narrative is built on a fake scoreboard. Because everyone's scoring this war on the easiest things to headline. Bigger models, Nvidia chips, smarter chatbots. And that framing is convenient because it keeps you looking at the part of AI that's visible, while the real leverage is hidden in the boring physical layer. Electricity, minerals, factories, and one geopolitical choke point that can shut the West's AI economy down overnight. On paper, America has already won. But if you ask the people who actually build the hardware, the plumbing of this entire industry, they will tell you a very different story. Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, recently gave a reality check that nobody in the mainstream media is talking about.
Is it 2 years, 3 years? Come on, they're nanoseconds behind us.
Elon Musk just went on the record and predicted something even worse.
China will far exceed the rest of the world in AI compute.
He is right, and the reason is that the West is fighting the wrong war. The US is obsessed with who has the smarter chatbot. Meanwhile, China has quietly shifted the battlefield to something American engineers can't code their way out of: minerals, energy, and raw industrial power. While Washington was arguing about AI safety guidelines, China installed more industrial robots last year than the rest of the world combined. For every one robot put into an American factory, China puts in 5. And then there is the most damning statistic of them all, and it relates to the energy grid. Elon Musk estimates that by the end of this year, China will produce more than 3 times the electricity of the United States.
I believe China's production capacity is around 1,500 gigawatts per year.
I mean, just think about that. AI needs power, and they have 3 times the juice, and 5 times the automation. So the states are walking into a trap. They think the finish line is releasing the best model like GPT-5, but the real race, the one that decides who dominates the global economy for decades to come, is about who can actually build the future, not just generate text about it. And right now, America is losing. Chapter 1, the scoreboard. So let's look at the scoreboard. For years, the US government has been obsessed with one number. How many Nvidia H100 chips does America have versus China? They treat it like a simplified game of Risk. If Meta buys 300,000 GPUs and Baidu only buys 30,000, then America wins. But that metric is broken. It assumes that the only way to win is to throw more power at the problem. That assumes that Chinese engineers are just waiting around, waiting for smuggled chips to show up. They aren't. While the US focuses on raw power, China focuses on efficiency. It started last year with DeepSeek R1. That was the warning shot. It proved that they could match OpenAI's reasoning for pennies on the dollar. But what happened this week should frankly terrify the US State Department. A Chinese quantitative hedge fund just released iQuest Coder. It's a new AI model that beats the best proprietary American models like GPT 5.2 at complex coding tasks. And it does this with only 40 billion parameters. For context, the US models it's beating are massive, likely over 1 trillion parameters. That means China is now getting better results with 20 times less compute. Just think about what that means. If China can get the same performance for a fraction of the cost, then the chip ban didn't stop them. It just forced them to get leaner. It forced them to write better code instead of just buying bigger computers. They've effectively closed the software gap. If you look at the global leaderboards right now, Chinese models are not in the bottom anymore. They're right up there in the top 10, right besides Gemini, GPT, and Claude. So if the software is equal and the chip ban isn't working, how does one actually measure who is winning? You have to follow the money, but not the venture capital money. You have to look at the industrial money. Chapter 2, the choke point. In 2022, the US government fired the economic equivalent of a nuclear weapon. They banned the export of Nvidia's best chips to China. The logic was simple. If they can't buy the hardware, they can't build the intelligence. When you tell a superpower they can't buy your product, 2 things happen. First, they smuggle it, and second, they build their own. And that's exactly what happened. While Washington was celebrating the ban, Huawei was quietly building the Ascend 910C. This is a domestic Chinese chip that reportedly delivers about 80% of the performance of an Nvidia H100. It's not perfect, but it's enough to train world-class models. So the ban didn't kill their AI industry, it just removed their reliance on US tech.
US sanctions have failed. And it was in response to the news of Huawei's new 60 Pro 5G phone.
But the hardware story gets worse. The West is so focused on the chips that it forgot what the chips are made of. To build these GPUs, you need gallium and germanium. These are metals that are critical for semiconductors and military radar. And guess who controls 98% of the global supply? China. In retaliation for the chip ban, China has already restricted exports of these metals. They're effectively starving the American supply chain whilst the US tries to starve their tech sector. And then there's the elephant in the room. Taiwan. Right now, 90% of the world's most advanced AI chips are manufactured by TSMC on a single island that China claims as its own. If China invades or even just blockades the island, the US AI economy will be under significant pressure. Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, they're all severely affected. Meanwhile, China has spent the last 3 years building a fully domestic supply chain that doesn't rely solely on Taiwan. So ask yourself, who is really more vulnerable? The country that makes its own chips, or the country that owns the raw materials? Or the country that relies on a single island 7,000 miles away for its entire AI future? The US has effectively placed its entire AI future inside a geopolitical choke point. Chapter 3, the profit trap. In America, AI is an asset class. It's driven by venture capitalists and the stock market. That system is great for innovation, but it has a fatal flaw. It demands a profit. Right now, American tech companies are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on hardware, but they aren't making that money back. Markets are seeing what experts call the AI capex bubble. If Wall Street decides next quarter that AI isn't profitable enough, the money tap starts to turn off. Startups die, research stops. The world already saw it happen with the dot-com crash, and the warning signs are visible again right now. They've found themselves caught up in a profit trap. But in China, the math is very different. They don't view AI as a product to sell. They view it as infrastructure, like building a highway or a dam. The Chinese government has set up government guidance funds. These are massive state-run pots of money designed to pour capital into strategic industries regardless of profit. Estimates suggest they have mobilized over 1 trillion yuan specifically for AI and semiconductor supply chains. So here's the reality. If the US AI bubble bursts and VCs stop writing checks because they can't monetize a chatbot, China is in a better position to keep building. They would still be affected by global economic ramifications, but they're better protected due to their local infrastructure. And they don't answer to shareholders, they largely answer to the state. And what are they spending that money on? They aren't focused on building consumer apps. They are building the one thing that actually bottlenecks the entire future of humanity: energy. Chapter 4, the power gap. Even if the US fixes its funding issue, they'll run into a wall that no amount of money can break. Physics. You can print dollars, you can't print gigawatts. Right now, the single biggest bottleneck for AI isn't NVIDIA chips, it's electricity. Training a model like GPT-5 requires as much power as a small city, and the American power grid is old, it's fragmented, and it's drowning in red tape. If you want to build a nuclear power plant in the US today, it takes 20 years of lawsuits and permits. In China, it takes 5 years. They are currently building 26 nuclear reactors. The US is building 0. And the result is a power gap that is impossible to ignore. So here is the grim reality. The US is using AI to make digital content cheaper. China is using AI to make everything else cheaper. And that brings us to the deadline, the year everything converges, the finale. So who wins this war? If you look at the trajectory right now, the answer's China. They are moving faster, building more, and worrying less about financials and more about factories. If nothing changes, they will surpass the States. The US is not dead yet, but the country is currently sleepwalking off a cliff. For the US to have a fighting chance, these specific things must happen immediately. First, Washington has to cut the red tape on energy. They can't wait 5 years for a permit to build a transformer. If they don't declare a national energy emergency and start building nuclear and solar now, the AI models of 2027 won't even turn on. Secondly, they have to stop burning cash. They need to stop treating AI like a casino for stock prices and start treating it like a war for survival. The capital needs to go into the hardware and infrastructure, not just into another chatbot wrapper. And thirdly, they have to build their robots domestically. They can't let China have a monopoly on the machines that build the machines. That is the list. If the US does these 3 things, they have a fighting chance. If they don't, then 2027 isn't just a year, it's the end of an American AI supremacy.